Check, 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 check. I think we're all in. I see volume moving. Excellent. Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Andrew Stutzke here with you. I'm going to get a couple of streams going, and then we will get started. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So YouTube is going. We're going to give the Facebook folks a couple of minutes to come into the room, and then we're going to talk about some of the storm threats for tomorrow. A big return to some winter-like weather, and then another big return to some early summer-like weather. So we got a lot to talk about. So I figure we go ahead and throw on the live stream here, and we'll get started in just a minute as soon as we let some folks come on into the chat here. Hopefully you can hear me. I showed I got volume on my end. If you guys could post in the comments section that audio sounds good, give me a thumbs up. And again, we'll give it a moment or two here, and then we'll get started, and we will be off and running. How was everybody's weekend? My gosh, the weather yesterday was phenomenal. I couldn't believe how warm it was. It felt warmer than the mid-60s, which is the high that we officially logged in the at the airport here south of the station, but it felt more like the 70s. I was in short sleeves and shorts and didn't need a jacket at all. That's going to be the same case today. Very warm. We're going to break a record high here in the Quad Cities, most likely, the way things look right now. And I think we're still in the running to make this the warmest February on record for the Quad Cities, too. I'm going to talk more about that coming up on GMQC at 11. I kind of broke down some of the numbers a little bit more to show you just how unusually warm this February has been. But now we're going to be dealing with a potential consequence of this warm February, and that is the chance for a couple of isolated stronger storms as we go into the day tomorrow. So let's get started. This should be a quick one. There's not a lot of in-depth analysis to this storm system specifically, but just wanted to give you an update, a little more in-depth explanation as to what we're tracking for tomorrow, just because of that threat being there. But we got another beautiful day ahead of us. Again, we're heading into the 70s this afternoon, and that is going to be so nice. So let's start off with what the Storm Prediction Center has put out for tomorrow. And then we'll kind of dive into the details in terms of the ingredients that we may or may not have as we go into the day tomorrow. So we're talking Tuesday again, not today. Today is just sunny, dry, windy, and very warm. A reminder, we have a red flag warning or a fire weather warning in place. So no outdoor burning today. I know a lot of folks were doing that over the weekend. They were kind of burning out those ditches in the country, some of the grassland areas. Today is not the day to do that. The relative humidity is very low. The winds will be strong this afternoon, and that could quickly spread those fires out of control with little to no advanced warning. So avoid that today. Avoid it tomorrow, too. I'm sure that red flag warning and fire weather warning continues through tomorrow. And then I think conditions will be better as we get to the end of the week. Back to the severe storm zones for tomorrow. So you see we're in a threat track level 2 out of 5 right now, and that's for areas east of the Quad Cities. The Quad Cities proper is only in a 1 out of 5. But even I think our opportunity here in the metro tomorrow to be able to see storms is kind of really coming to a close very quickly as I keep getting all this newer data in that suggests that the threat is definitely going to be east of us for tomorrow. So I still think, a line from Sterling Rock Falls, Kewanee, Galesburg, and points east, a big area included in this would be much of Bureau County. I think that's still a go. Looking at the forecast as of this morning. The further east you go, the closer you are to Interstate 39, the better chance you're going to have to see an isolated stronger storm as we go into tomorrow evening. And that's what the storm predictor is saying right now. Now, what I wouldn't be surprised is when we get the new update from them for the day 2 outlook tomorrow, which is what this is, that this threat zone gets shifted just a little bit further to the south and to the east, just again based on what I'm seeing, because I am also kind of seeing the storm system speed up a little bit in addition to the better moisture being a little bit further to the south and the east. So that's something that we're going to be kind of keeping an eye on as we go into the next, say, 5-6 hours when that thing gets released. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's go into the actual conditions, kind of what we've got going to possibly promote this opportunity for some rough weather around here. And that's going to be some moisture. It's not impressive, but it is enough to potentially get something brewing as we get into tomorrow evening. So we're going to see how that works out. This is the dew point, which of course is our measure of moisture. And you're noticing that, yes, there is some there. We have dew points that do exceed 50 degrees. That's kind of one of the prerequisites to get some stronger storms. And that is very much true, especially on the Illinois side of the river, where some 60-degree dew points will be possible. But it doesn't last very long. I mean, this is a very short window of opportunity that we've got going for late tomorrow afternoon into the evening, because this front is going to be pushing through very, very quickly, taking that moisture with it, increasing the winds out of the northwest, and it's also going to bring in some much colder air and some much drier air too. So there is some moisture, not a ton, not too much to get excited about, but enough that we could put something together tomorrow evening. So let's go through Future Track, and I want to caution you here on this particular model that it's going to show, quite an overabundance of showers. This particular model has a lot more sensitivity than some of our other ones do, so it really picks up on some of the finer details, and sometimes it goes a little bit crazy. But you can see, of course, some shower activity trying to get going later tomorrow evening. There's the storm activity, and there you see that it is definitely tied further to the east than even what the Storm Prediction Center is currently forecasting. So that is something we're going to be watching, that trend, that little shift there. And that'll be something to kind of keep an eye on as we go through the evening. And Jonathan, you're okay if you need to make noise over there. This is like an informal thing, so. I don't want to keep you in suspense too long. But that's kind of a trend that we're watching here. Again, further eastward for this severe storm development heading into tomorrow evening. And then it just quickly off to the races, moves off to Indiana. And I really think east of Interstate 39 is where the bulk of the strong storm activity is going to be heading into tomorrow evening. And then here comes the chill. We could be talking snow showers by early Wednesday morning, and wind chills will be below zero for some of you as we go to work and school Wednesday morning. What a difference. Huge difference compared to the last 2 days. So we went over the moisture. Let's go over again the zones, and then we'll dive into where the tornado zone is, the hail zone, the wind zone. So then again, there again is where you see a 2 out of 5 threat track east of the Quad Cities. It's only a 1 here, but even that's iffy. I think that's a little farther west than what I've seen in most model data. Where's the tornado zones tomorrow? This I'm not too excited about, especially for us here locally, because our cloud bases are not going to be very low. The bottom of the cloud is not going to be that close to the ground. These are going to be some very high-level cloud bases. That tends to be problematic for tornado development. You like to see something much closer to the ground so that circulation actually has less of a space to travel through. That makes it a little easier to get some tornado development. I think that potential is going to be better further east as you go into east central Illinois, including just south of Chicago. The South Chicago suburbs will be in that higher end tornado risk there. That's a level 2 out of 5 for tornadoes in that region in the dark maroon shading that you're seeing here. For the rest of us, it's not really something I'm concerned with right now. Unless something happens where our cloud bases get a little bit closer to the ground, then that would change a little bit, but given the lack of moisture, we just don't see that possibility, at least as of the data this morning. So I'm not too excited about the tornado threat tomorrow. Again, I think that is further east as you go into east central Illinois, especially northern Indiana. What about the damaging wind threat tomorrow? That is a little bit more elevated compared to the tornado threat. So that's going to be, again, areas east of the Quad Cities. It's the same zone that's in the 2 out of 5 on the threat track scale. Where we will likely see some stronger wind gusts, perhaps up to 50 miles an hour. The hail threat, though, that is definitely elevated because you have to remember we're still in the month of February. There's still a lot of cold air upstairs that these storms can work with. And I think the bigger hail probability is going to be in towards Chicago and east of Interstate 39. That's where they could see a couple of reports of 2-inch plus diameter hail, which is some really big stuff. Here, I think it's more isolated in nature. Certainly could see quarter-size hail with some of the storms that we'll try and take off later for tomorrow. So let's put this all in one graphic, kind of summarize it here for you. Here you see that time frame, that's 6 to 9 o'clock in the evening. That's when we're focused on for tomorrow for areas east of the Mississippi River. Damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour, some isolated instances of quarter-size hail. Not too concerned about the tornado threat. You notice that is the lowest on the scale. We can take it to this hour by hour, kind of on our threat track scale, if you will, and you notice how it kind of ramps up a little bit more, heading between that 6 and 8 o'clock hour, kind of peaks at 8 o'clock, and then it moves off to the east after that as the cold front is pushing through, and that will quickly end the severe weather threat. But man, are we going to have quite a transition. As we go into our Wednesday, we're talking about temperatures only in the 30s. The wind chills in the morning will be below zero. The actual high during the day will be limited to the 30s. And that's our one-day return to winter, because it's not long after that. I mean, by Thursday, we're back in the 50s. We're close to 60 on Friday. We're in the 70s by the weekend, and then we have to watch the potential for another round of strong to severe storms coming in sometime between Sunday and Monday of next week. Right now, the timing kind of favors late Sunday night into Monday morning, so we'll keep an eye on that. Of course, it's going to change. It's 7 days out. But certainly kind of something that we would expect when you're going from 70s to 30s to 50s and then doing that roller coaster ride back and forth. So we're going to do this kind of a pattern here, all this up and down, for about another week. And then I think things will finally start to level out at least a little bit in terms of temperature. And that should help kind of tamp down the severe weather threat for just a little while anyway, as we head into the first full week of March already next week, which is just so hard to believe that, especially given this forecast that we've got going. So that's what I have for you on the severe weather threat. Again, not a huge deal. I'm not really too concerned about what's going to go down here tomorrow. I think the threat is definitely east of the Quad Cities. So if you live on the Iowa side, you guys have nothing to worry about tomorrow. I'm not expecting anything on the Iowa side of the river. Even the immediate Quad Cities, the metro here, I really just don't see the potential for much happening. This is going to be more of an Illinois threat, especially if you live within, say, 40 to 50 miles west of Interstate 39. That's where we're looking at kind of that better potential of getting a storm going there and then quickly racing off to the east-northeast as we go into tomorrow evening. No doubt it's going to be busy for chasers. This is kind of the first bigger area in terms of what's been covered under a threat track level 2 so far this season. So expect a lot of those folks to be out. I expect a lot of them will probably be targeting east central Illinois, just based on the data I've seen this morning, because again, that's where the better ingredients are going to be and a little bit better moisture to work with. But we're going to keep tracking this as we go throughout today. And of course, tonight, Chief Meteorologist James Zahara will be in. He'll be tracking that too, his latest thoughts. And I'll be back with you guys here tomorrow morning, see if there's any changes to this. But we expect that next update from the Storm Prediction Center early this afternoon, just a little bit after the noon hour. We should be hearing that from them, and we'll see if there's any shift in this slight risk here, or likely the level 2 out of 5 on the map. But again, right now, I think it's mainly going to be east of the Quad Cities on all the data that I'm seeing so far. I'll see if I can answer any questions here before we hop off here on this gorgeous Monday morning. My goodness, I am so excited to get outside this afternoon. I can't wait. Cannot wait. And everybody's quiet. I don't see any questions. Either that or my phone app is being kind of wonky this morning and it just doesn't want to display anything, which is entirely possible. Facebook makes so many changes that it's hard to keep up with what all this app is trying to do, because I swear it changes constantly. But I can't see any comments. Well, what I'll do is I'll hop off the live stream here in a moment, and I'll go on with the browser. And if I see some comments there or some questions, I can answer them in the chat. But right now, my phone's not popping up anything, so it's showing no comments. But just wanted to get that out there so you guys could see what we're expecting for tomorrow. Of course, we'll be right here tracking this as it comes in, but get outside the next couple of days. Windows open today, windows open tomorrow. May want to wipe down the window sills. Good friend Doug Wagner from WOC AM there in Cedar Rapids, he was reminding me there's a lot of pollen and dust that sits in your window sills between your screens and your windows. May want to wipe that out and then have the windows open. You don't want all that dust and all those allergens blowing into your house. But now I know what I'll be doing this afternoon before I leave the windows open. But enjoy that. 70s today, 70s tomorrow. We'll track more of these storms as they get a little bit closer here on our Tuesday. You guys make it a great Monday. We'll see you coming up on GMQC at 11.